Welcome to English Podcasts. Relax and enjoy your listening practice.
The other day I came across something that genuinely made me stop and think. We all grow up learning about the five senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. But, well, it turns out there's another sense that most of us rarely hear about, even though it quietly influences almost every moment of our lives. It's called interoception, and it's basically our ability to notice what's happening inside our own bodies. So, what does that actually mean? It means recognizing that you're hungry before you become exhausted, noticing your heart beating faster when you're nervous, realizing you're thirsty before you get a headache, or feeling that your breathing has changed because you're under stress. These internal signals help your brain keep your body in balance without you having to think about it. Most of the time, this process is so automatic that we barely notice it's happening, but researchers now believe it's much more important than simply regulating physical health. What really caught my attention is the growing evidence that interoception is closely connected to mental health. Scientists have found that people who struggle to interpret these internal signals are more likely to experience conditions such as anxiety, depression, or eating disorders. It's not that interoception directly causes these illnesses, but when your brain receives confusing or inaccurate information from your body, understanding your emotions becomes much more difficult. After all, emotions are not just thoughts. They're physical experiences too. Fear changes your heartbeat, sadness affects your energy, and stress can completely change the way your stomach feels. Actually, researchers are also exploring whether people experience interoception differently. Some studies suggest there may be differences, on average, in how accurately men and women detect certain internal signals, although scientists are still trying to understand exactly why and what those differences really mean. The important point is that this area of research is helping us better understand how the body and the mind constantly work together rather than operating as separate systems. I think that's the part that stayed with me the most. We spend so much time paying attention to the outside world. We check our phones, answer emails, watch the news, and respond to other people's expectations. But we don't always notice what our own bodies have been trying to tell us all day. Sometimes we ignore tiredness until we're completely burned out, or we push through stress until it becomes impossible to manage. So, maybe listening to ourselves isn't just a nice wellness idea. Maybe it's a practical skill that deserves far more attention than it gets. We often search for complicated answers to improve our mental health, while one of the most valuable sources of information has been with us all along, quietly sending signals every single day. Learning to notice those signals won't solve every problem, of course, but it might help us understand ourselves a little better, and I think that's a powerful place to begin.